Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Learn Math with Priti. The topic which we are continuing today is integers. This is the video for part 2 of integers. So we'll just revise what we did in the previous lecture. In the previous lecture, we studied about first thing we studied about the factors, then multiples, then prime. Factors we studied, multiples were also done, and then prime numbers, then HCF, then LCM. Everything was done in the first part. Now this is the second part. In the second part, we will study calculations on integers. The way we perform calculations on whole numbers, decimals, fractions. Similarly, we perform calculations on integers also. So the basic four calculations which we all have done almost from when we were small. So the four basic calculations are addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So same operations we will perform with integers also. So this second point, that is 1.2 sub question, subtopic 1.2 is calculation on integers. The calculations are multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Okay, so when we talk about calculations, now in positive numbers the calculations were very simple. We used to add, subtract, multiply and divide. But when we perform calculations on integers, we need to follow four rules which are very important. So I will write down those four rules down. Plus will give us plus, minus will give us plus, minus gives us minus, and plus gives us plus. To understand this very simple rule, we will remember, so same sign always add. If the two numbers are having the same sign, you always add them, and different sign always subtract. So very basic thing, if you remember these two lines, you will be able to solve any question properly. So we say that same sign always add. If two numbers are having the same sign, you always add them. And if two numbers are having different sign, you always subtract them. Only remember these two lines and you will be able to solve any question on integers. And after that, very one important thing, that when you perform addition and subtraction, you take the sign of the greater number, but we don't follow this in case of multiplication and division. In case of multiplication and division, we only follow this four rule purely. In addition and subtraction also, we follow this four rules only. We solve using these rules only, but then we put the sign of the greater number. So that is very important, which we need to remember, that in addition and subtraction, so when in addition or subtraction, then we take the sign of the greater number. But in multiplication and division, it's not like that. Okay, we don't follow that way. We just follow the four rules which I just gave you before this. The rules say that same signs always add, different signs always subtract. Just remember this. If you remember, you can solve any question on calculations of integers. So I'll just perform some basic addition subtraction questions, and then we will go to the basic multiplication and division questions. A few examples I will take. So it will be 2 plus minus 4. So now, as I told you, there are two different signs. When we have two different signs, we always subtract, right? So we will subtract. So we subtract 4 and 2, we get 2. But then we put the sign of the greater number. So you will get minus 2. Suppose I take minus 2 minus of minus 4. Now there are three signs, okay? So now here we have two signs together. So both signs are same, we add. So this becomes minus 2 plus 4. But then there are again two signs here. So again these are different signs, right? Different signs we always subtract. So we will get 2. Minus 2 or plus 2? Plus 2. Because sign of the greater number is positive. So we will get plus 2. You just write 2. Okay. And if it is like this, minus 2 plus 4. So minus 2 plus 4. Again minus plus means two different signs. When we have two different signs, we subtract. So we subtract, we get 2. And what is the sign of the greater number? Plus. So we get positive 2. So these are basic examples for addition and subtraction of integers. You can just take some big questions and try and solve them so that you understand it better. Now we will go towards multiplication and division. Now how in this we saw the greater number and then we put the sign, right? Here we will not see the greater number. We will just follow those 4 rules and we will solve. So if it is minus 7 into minus 7. So minus minus what I told you. If both signs are same, we always add. So we don't have to add here, but we will put the sign of positive sign. We will multiply. 7 sevens are 49. So we get positive 49 because minus minus is plus. Now if we get minus 7 into 4, that means one is positive, one is negative. So what we will get? We will write plus minus plus will be minus. So we'll get minus 28. Similarly, if it is 4 into minus 3, that means one is positive, the other one is negative again. So again we will get a negative answer only, which is minus 12. And if they are both positive, it's very obvious. If both the numbers are positive, answer will be positive only. Right? So these are some basic examples of multiplication. Let's take up some examples for division also. Similarly, minus 30 divided by minus 10. Again we will follow that only. Both signs are same. So minus minus becomes plus. Means the answer will be in plus. 30 divided by 10 will be 3. Then 60 divided by minus 5. Now here it's positive and here it's negative. So one positive sign and one negative sign. So in the answer we will have a negative sign, and 60 divided by 5 will give us 12. So the answer is minus 12. Similarly, minus 25 divided by 5. Again one is minus and one is plus. So minus plus again minus. As I told, if both the signs are different, it's always minus. And if both the signs are same, it's always plus. So 25 divided by 5 will give us 5. So that's the difference in calculating addition, subtraction of integers and multiplication, division in integers. Okay, so this is a basic thing which you need to understand. Now this is very simple: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. I will just take up an example of a pyramid and we will try and solve a multiplication pyramid. Okay, there are many pyramids. It can be addition, subtraction. We are taking a multiplication pyramid. Okay, and we will try and find out the answer. The numbers below are minus 2, 3 and 5. Now what do? We multiply these two and whatever answer we get, we will write up. Similarly, here also we multiply these two and whatever answer we get, we will write here up. So minus 2 into 3, we'll get minus plus. As I told you, minus plus, it is minus. So answer will be in minus. 2 3s are 6. Similarly, this is plus and plus. So we don't need to put any sign. 3 5s are 15. Again it's minus plus. So minus plus will give us minus. So 15 6s are 90. So the answer is minus 90. So now here we only did multiplication. So now there can be pyramid like this only, but we have to perform division. When will you perform division? If these three numbers are not given or any number from the top is given, you will have to divide it with the number below, right? So multiplication, division, pyramid is the same only. Sometimes you will have to multiply, sometimes you will have to divide. So we will just solve one more pyramid in which only the base only is not given. There are some numbers given at the top. Okay. So again this is a pyramid. If I say that this is minus 5, this is 5 and this is minus 1. Okay. And this is minus 30. Now you find the remaining two numbers. How do we find that? We know that by multiplying this with some number, we should get minus 30, right? So what you will do, when you reach from the top to the bottom, you divide. From down to up, when you are going, you are multiplying. When you come from up to down, you divide. So minus 30 divided by minus 5. So both are minus. So the answer will be in positive. 30 divided by 5 will be 6. So this is minus 5 into 6. I'll get minus 30. Correct. And see, 5 into minus 1, I am getting minus 5. Clear? And then I have 6 here. That means here by multiplying these two numbers I should get 6. So I already have minus 1. So you divide 6 by minus 1. What do you get? Minus 6. So the answer is minus 6. So here the answer are these two. And we find these two by dividing, not only multiplying, by dividing. So multiplication and division pyramid is the same. When they ask us to find the numbers below, we do divide. When they ask us to find the number above, we just multiply. So that is what is multiplication pyramid. Now, not necessary every time you will have numbers in integers that will be a whole number, suppose, right? Somehow we have decimals. So in integers also sometimes they may give you some decimal number. Suppose they give you a number like minus 8.75 divided by 2.8. Now how to divide? They just tell you that you round off it. You have to round off to the nearest value and then you calculate. Okay. So we will round off these two numbers to the nearest value and then we will calculate. So if you see minus 8.75, the minus will be as it is. 8.75 will be near to 9. So minus 9 divided by 2.8 is nearest to 3. So minus 9 divided by 3, what do I get? Minus 3. Okay, so the answer is minus 3. So first we round off the given decimal numbers and then we find the answer. Now not necessary every time they may tell you to round off to the nearest value. Sometimes they may tell you to round off to the nearest 10, nearest 100 if there is a bigger number, and if it's a very big number they may tell you to round off to nearest thousands. So first you will round off and then you will calculate. In sums like this, it's round off and calculate. So that's it for the calculations of integers. Okay, this calculations part is this much only. Now we will start with the third subtopic, which is square root and cube root. So let's try and understand what is square root. Okay, so square root of a number is a number that when multiplied by itself gives the original or the given number. So if a number is given, what is the square root of that number they tell us to find? That means the square root which we find is a number which when we multiply 2 times we will get the given or the original number. So I'll explain this with the help of a very small example. Root of 25. So we need to find out a number which when we multiply twice we get 25. That means the same number is to be multiplied. We don't need two different factors. We need one number only which we multiply with itself and we will get 25. Okay, so the number should be repeating itself. So 25 we get when we multiply 5 into 5. So the square root of 25 is 5. Okay, we get 25 when we multiply 5 into 5. So the square root of 25 is 5. Similarly, now if it can be plus 5 or minus 5, right? Because minus 5 into minus 5 also becomes 25 only. And plus 5 into plus 5 also becomes 25. So there can be two roots of the, when they tell you to find the square root, so it is possible to have two square root. One will be the positive one and the other one will be the negative one. Similarly, if they tell you to find the square root of a number 100, so which two numbers you multiply to get 100? 10. So the square root can be minus 10 or plus 10. Both are correct because we don't know the root we got from multiplying minus 10 into minus 10. It can be plus 10 into plus 10 also. Okay, so always square root we get two answers. Okay, so it has a positive and it has a negative. So that is what is square root. Now let's move on to cube root. What is cube root? We will understand what is cube root now. So as square root, we were having a number which we multiplied 2 times, right? In cube root is a number which is multiplied 3 times to get the original number. So means here we need to, if the number is a, so we need to multiply a 3 times and we get that number. So this a will be the cube root of this number. So suppose cube root of 27. So now you will find out which number will multiply 3 times. Same number will be multiplied 3 times to get 27. So very simple. 3 into 3 into 3. 3 is multiplied 3 times to get 27. So the cube root of 27 is 3. So here cube root is a number which we multiply 3 times to get the original number. One more example, cube root of 1000. So here very simple, we do 10 into 10 into 10. So the cube root of 1000 is just 10, right? So this is what is cube root, and this finding the cube root and all is always applicable and used in equations also. Now when you solve equations, a simple equation, if it is given x plus 2 is equals to 7 and they tell you to find the value of x. So what do you do? X 7 minus 2 is equals to 5. If this is minus, you take that and become plus. If it is x upon 2 is equals to 5, what do you do? Simply you will just take it over there and multiply, you get 10. If it is x into 2 is equals to 5, you simply take here and it will be divide. So in any which ways, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, you are finding the value of x. So sometimes it's not like only x. Sometimes there will be powers of x. So similarly, if it is given x square is equals to 100. So now what you will do? Very simple. Here it's square. So square goes this side and becomes root. That means we want to, if you put root on both the sides, this square will automatically cancel, right? So that's why the square goes this side and becomes root. We just need to remember square becomes root. How plus becomes minus, minus becomes plus, multiplication becomes division, division becomes multiplication, right? Similarly, square becomes square root and cube becomes cube root. Remember this also with those 4. So square becomes square root. So x will be square root of 100. So what is the value of x? Value of x is 10. Similarly, if we have a number in cube, suppose it is x cube minus 216 is equals to 0. Find the value of x. First thing, you will get the number on the other side because we need to find the value of x. So this will be x cube is equals to 216. Now we have cube here, right? And nothing else. So to remove the power, what do? Cube goes to the other side and becomes cube root. So this is cube root of 216. So what is the value of x? The value of x is 6, because when you multiply 6 3 times, you get 216. So very basic thing. I hope you understood what is square root and what is cube root and how to find square root and cube root and how to solve the equations also depending upon square root and cube root. So this is for this topic, square root and cube root. Now the last subtopic in this chapter is indices. Okay, now indices I have already covered in my videos. If you check my videos on my channel, there is an entire chapter on indices. There are more than 4 laws in that. You can just check in detail. I will not explain those laws here in detail because already I have explained in one of my videos. If you want your message, I'll just put the URL or the link of that video below this video also. If you don't understand, otherwise it's very simple. You need to understand indices. If you see indices, just click on this video and you will be able to study the indices in depth. Okay, but as we have indices, I will just do a small explanation again, and it's a very basic questions in this. For this level, grade 7, they have very basic things which are 4 laws. So I will just revise it as a revision. Okay, so very simple. What are indices? Actually, as we know, indices is nothing but the plural of index. So index, the plural form of index becomes indices. Okay, now what is index? Index is power. So something a raised to m. So this becomes our base, and whatever is written small above is our power or index. Okay, and when we have more than one index, it becomes indices. When they are more than one index. Okay, so this is what are indices. There were 4 laws of indices. I will just write down the laws. I hope you all remember the laws. If you have seen that video, if you have not seen that video, please you can go and check the video. These are the laws. First law, multiplication. A raised to m into a raised to n is equals to a raised to m plus n. When it is multiply and the base is same, we add the powers. Division, we subtract the power. In division, we just subtract the power. Okay, m minus n. And if there are 2 powers, we simply multiply the powers. And if there is something raised to 0, we always write 1. So these are the 4 basic laws of indices. There are more laws of indices which I have covered in that video. So if you want a depth knowledge, please look and go through that video. I'll just take up a few examples depending upon these laws, because already the laws have been taken in another video. So I'll just take up 2-3 examples. 2 raised to 5 into 2 raised to 3 into 2. Here it's multiplication and the base are same. So we simply add the powers. 5 plus 3, if there is nothing, that means it's 1. So what is the total? 2 raised to 9. Similarly, if we see the second question, 5 raised to 3, the whole raised to 2. So it's 5 raised to 3 into 2. When we have 2 powers, we simply multiply the power. 5 raised to 6. And the third, one more, we will take up a division example. 15 raised to 8 divided by 15 raised to 6. That means again the base is same and they are in division. So what do? We just subtract the power. So 15 square. Okay. Just take one more. If it's 7 raised to 0. If it is 7 raised to 0, the answer is 1. Anything which is raised to 0, the answer is always 1. So these are very small examples. So if you have any doubts in this example or till any point from part 1 or part 2 of this chapter, please comment below. That's it for this chapter of grade 7 integers. Both part 1 part 2 videos are done. Now we'll start the next topic of grade 7 in the next video. Please do subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.